Right then, here we go. I think we're live. Sweet, we're live. Yes, guys, welcome to the UEFA Champions League Last 16, quarter-final, and then by default, we've got the brackets, so semi-final and final. Effectively, if Chelsea are going to win the Champions League this year, how do we do it? How are we going to win it? We're going to find out now. And the draw starts in 10 minutes, which probably means it starts in about 40 minutes because you know what they like to do with all of this stuff. They like to drag it out. They like to make it a big scene. I'm hoping it isn't the same as the World Cup because that was an absolute nightmare. That genuinely took so long. But it's PSG or Newcastle, whichever way you look at it, it's not easy. Newcastle aren't having the best season, but they have been electric in the Champions League, and a trip to St. James's Park at the best of times is incredibly hard. PSG, Chelsea have beaten them, but does it mean we'll do it over two legs? Does it mean that we're going to be able to do it in the Champions League and not a one-off game in 34 degrees in New Jersey? I don't know. So I'm going to do a poll, and we're going to get involved with it straight away. And who do you want to face? Who do you want to face? And we're going to just have the two answers because that is the only answers we got right now. Newcastle or PSG. And then obviously as we go through the round of 16 draw, there's a lot of other things to keep our eyes on. Because, for example, Man City, they can either play Bodo Glimt or Real Madrid. So that's a tough one. Arsenal's draw is very easy. It's either Leverkusen or Atalanta, which I say it's easy because they beat us, but I think Arsenal will destroy them. And then there's also Liverpool, who could play Galatasaray or Tottenham. Let me actually just show you now, quickly, what it is. Let me make sure that's the correct window. Yes. Okay, cool. So this is the draw. Chelsea will play either PSG or we will play Newcastle. Newcastle beat Karabag 9-3 and PSG beat Monaco 5-4 on aggregate. Let's also go through and take a look at the other games, and then I'll get to you guys' messages. Galatasaray beat Juventus 7-5 on aggregate, and that was an absolute thriller. Real Madrid beat Benfica 3-1. Pretty straightforward there. Atalanta came from behind to beat Borussia Dortmund 4-3 on aggregate. Atletico Madrid beat Club Brugge 7-4 on aggregate. The big shock was Inter Milan beaten twice against Bodo Glimt, 3-1 in Norway and 2-1 at home. And Leverkusen 2-0 on aggregate against Olympiacos. But Bodo Glimt are by all means not a pushover. And I've been reminded that I've been a little bit harsh on them in the past. But let's see what you guys are saying. 62% of you are saying you'd rather face Newcastle. And we're going to go through both options as to why it could be good, why it would be bad, and everything else. So get involved with the vote. I want as many of you as possible to get involved with this one. We also can talk about the latest Chelsea news because we've not done a news video today. And there will be a video out later. It's already made. It is a Chelsea-Arsenal tactical video, little breakdown of how we can beat them with Connor. So 60% currently on Newcastle, 40% PSG. And the draw starts in 6 minutes. So just hang out for a little bit. We're going to go through some of the news. And, of course, we will react to Chelsea's draw. And not just Chelsea, everybody else as well. So hello from Tunisia. Where's everyone watching from? Let me know in the chat right now. So the draw is on the UEFA website. And alternatively, you can just watch my reactions here. Sweden, Canada, Wales. Couple from lots of people from Sweden, Australia, Scotland, Canada, Italy, India, Poland, Alabama, Kenya, London, Tunisia, Poland, Italy, Uganda. All right, we everywhere as always. Denmark, London, Italy, California, Indonesia, New York, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Malawi, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Bosnia and Herzegovina. What a great country. Dubai, big up to you. Iran, West London, Thank you, Phantom of Many. And I can't read the rest of it. When are you returning to Southeast Asia? I'm actually going in 3 weeks on a little holiday to meet my mate in Thailand. Palestine, Lagos, Connecticut, George's house. Interesting. France, Canada, Hungary, Eritrea, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Everywhere. Ipswich. Big up to Ipswich. The old home of Liam Delap. But anyway, let's talk a little bit first of all about what is the options here for Chelsea. Because look, winning the game in Naples, frog in my throat there for a second. Winning that game in Naples means that we go through in the top 8 of the Champions League, which was always the mission. But it doesn't mean that you can get an easy draw. Because when I look at this, and we're going to bring it up on the screen again now, there is no easy teams left in the round of 16 of the Champions League. So you've got PSG, Barcelona, Chelsea, Galatasaray, who have been very dangerous and with Ottoman up front will always be dangerous. Liverpool, Tottenham, Real Madrid, Sporting, Man City, Atalanta, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and then on the other side of the draw, Atletico Madrid, Bodo Glimt, and Bayer Leverkusen. So the way it works this year is the teams that won the playoffs automatically play at home in the first leg. And then based on the league position and where, for example, Chelsea finished, Tottenham, Liverpool, Barcelona, the top 8 teams are structured in kind of like this silver pathway, which you can see at the top here, that says silver, or the blue pathway, which then dictates what side of the draw you're on. So, for example, if Chelsea come out here against PSG, and then Arsenal play Leverkusen, we can only meet Arsenal in the final. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So the question is, who do we want to play? And I'm going to tell you who I want to face in a minute once we've gone through both options, because whichever way I go down the angle of who do I want to play, it's difficult. That is just the fundamental answer is it's a flipping tough game no matter who it is, because PSG are obviously the holders of the competition. I wouldn't say PSG have been as emphatic as they were last season. And obviously, if they didn't lose to Chelsea, we would have been talking about maybe one of the greatest club seasons in history. We actually still kind of are talking about that, to be honest. They won so many trophies. But I don't think they're the same this year. And I don't know if it's about hunger. I don't know if it's about the competitiveness of the tournament, competitiveness of the league in France. It's difficult to say. But either way, PSG is a really tricky game. And at this point in the competition, right, it's the Champions League knockouts. PSG and Newcastle have played 10 matches in the tournament. We've played 8 already too. So we're at that point where it's already deep in the tournament and it's going to be tough. None of the teams that we've just mentioned are easy. I think the weak teams that you'd look at are probably Leverkusen, Atalanta, unfortunately, despite them beating us. Bodo Glimt are obviously the minnows, but I wouldn't want to play them, to be fair. And they've already beaten Man City 3-1 in January. Maybe they face them again. Sporting Lisbon, tricky, but you'd probably want to face them. Arsenal and Bayern Munich, I think, very difficult. Barcelona and Real Madrid, I'd argue, not that difficult, definitely beatable, but you wouldn't want to play Real Madrid, I don't think. But PSG, they are a better team than Newcastle. Spurs, yes, you're correct, Oliver. We'd love to play Spurs. Although I'd hate to lose to Tottenham in the Champions League. That would be horrifying. But I don't think we would. But anyway, PSG, I think I'd rather play Arsenal. Newcastle, wow. I don't want to play Arsenal in the Champions League until the final. That's the truth. I'd rather play Newcastle because I think psychologically, the fact that we would play them 3 times in 1 week, and 2 of those games would be at Stamford Bridge. Wait, let me just ban this guy for a second. Bro, where to watch? The UEFA website. What not to do? Spam. You're getting banned, bruv. Newcastle, to play them 3 times in a week and 2 of those games being at Stamford Bridge, I actually think would be the best outcome for Chelsea. because Newcastle, we've seen this season with them. They really struggle when it comes to Champions League, then the Premier League. The first game would be at St. James's Park, which, I won't lie, it's going to be so hard. Any team that goes to Newcastle away in a knockout Champions League game, you've got to be ready, because the way that Newcastle press, the energy that they bring, they're a really good side, particularly in Europe this season. A guy called Henry. Be honest, why did you and Eunice fall out again? I literally was just on the phone to this guy before we started this stream. And he said, can I come in and stir it? And I was like, why'd you have to make everything about you? But just to clarify for the chat, Eunice and I didn't fall out. I've actually just been messaging Eunice as well. But thank you for the super chat, Harry. As always, very good boxing channel, by the way, guys, if you're into boxing. A guy called Henry as much, so I will take the piss out of him. Very good. But back to Newcastle. I think 2 games at Stamford Bridge, I think we'd do them. And we've also got to remember, Stamford Bridge is also an intimidating place to go in the Champions League. Teams don't like going to Chelsea in the Champions League. The problem with Chelsea is, as a fan base, we don't care about the Burnleys, the Leeds. Well, Leeds at home is a bit different because we've got a rivalry with Leeds. But like the games against the lower clubs in the Premier League table, even the crowd, like people don't really get up for it because we still believe it should be a formality to beat these teams at home, which is what it was for the old Chelsea. And nowadays it's just not. Let me just see if the draw has started. As usual, UEFA are... No, they're not late. They've actually started it. I was about to dig them there, but they're actually showing us right now. They're showing the Chelsea. Let me just also move you guys to here. Oh, man, this is exciting. This is very exciting indeed. I might stick my headphones on so I can listen to it. But I do think over 2 legs, as long as we don't get slapped up at Newcastle, I think we beat them. I also think we beat PSG too, by the way. I'm confident, which might seem stupid to some of you, but I was there when we beat them 3-0 and we absolutely destroyed them. And I think stylistically, not much has changed for PSG. We do it again. Newcastle, I think over 2 legs, we get the better of them. I think it would be close. I think both games, right? And obviously, we'll talk about it more when the draw's actually made and we know who it is. But both games, I think Chelsea win 4-3 on aggregate. But anyway, 59% of you have said Newcastle with nearly 1,000 votes in the poll. And also, while we're here, by the way, remember, Chelsea-Arsenal watch-along here on GBFC this weekend. I'm so excited for that game. I don't know why, but I've got a little sneak feeling that we're going to win it. Which I know after the news yesterday, which was about Chelsea's finances again. Everybody is back very much on their everything is doom and gloom train, which kind of looks like that from a business angle right now, doesn't it? But that doesn't really impact us for this season, at least. In the Champions League. It's there to be won now. You two did shoot out yesterday. Richie, I know. As I've said, there is no problem. We've Eunice and I have clarified this, and we're uploading every day on Shootout, so, you know, do the maths. I always have a sneak feeling. You're right. I do always have a sneak feeling. Let me put my headphones on so I can listen to what Mr. Matey Boy is saying. Do you guys remember? I want to know if there's any of you that are actually watching right now in the chat. Matey Boy's come out and he's over the balls right now. So I think we're actually going to get underway pretty quickly here for the Champions League draw. But who was there the year that we won it? Did any of you watch the stream the year that we won the Champions League? Because it's not quite like that here today because we already know there's only 2 options. It's PSG or Newcastle. But last time we streamed, when we won it and we found that we got Porto, mate, we went bonkers. That stream did like 150,000 views. All right, there's a few of you that were there. Nice. Let me just listen and see. Budapest is the destination for the final. Come on. Who is it? Ivan Rakitic is helping with the draw. Who was it? Can anybody remind me who it was? Mate, can you please stop spamming, bro? Like, it's so annoying. Does anyone remember who it was who was helping with the draw when we last won it? It wasn't Rakitic. Who was it? Who was it? Shout out to Bodo Glimt. I wonder, Bodo Glimt, who can they face? They can face Man City or Sporting Lisbon. They would love Sporting Lisbon here. I don't think Bodo Glimt care who they play right now, to be honest. Does anybody remember who it was that was helping with the draw the year that we won it? It wasn't Malouda or Essien. It was somebody... Oh, flipping heck. Who was it? I'm actually going to look. Was it Malouda? I don't remember. I don't think it was Malouda. It was someone random. Really random. I promised to get a tattoo of his name. Did I? I don't remember that. Maybe. No. The question is, who was helping? Who was the person doing the draw when Chelsea won the Champions League? Not the first time, the second time. Belletti, no. Ivanovic, no. Drogba, no. I can't remember, man. I don't remember. And Ivan Rakitic is coming out onto the stage now. He's a very suave guy, Rakitic, isn't he? Like, he can pull off the long hair, can pull off the short hair. Malo Gusto. It definitely wasn't Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto would have still been a teenager at that time. Arshavin. Why does Andre Arshavin make that? That sounds a bit more like it. It was not. I don't think it was a former Chelsea player, you know. But anyway, Rakitic is out there. Mario Melchiot. Was it Mario Melchiot? I don't know. I don't know. And we're going to move on because I genuinely can't remember. Probably no looked the ball pickup. So, for those of you just joining who are unaware, Chelsea have two options here. PSG or Newcastle. Which one of those would you rather face? We have a poll running right now. 59% of you have said Newcastle. 41% say PSG. If we play Newcastle in this Champions League draw, we will end up playing Newcastle 3 times in 7 days. And 2 of them will be at Stamford Bridge, which is the good thing. Giorgio Marchetti. Yes, that is a name that rings a bell. But isn't he the bloke who's always doing it? I'm confused. How far do I think we'll go in the FA Cup? Well, we've got Wrexham in the FA Cup quarterfinals, which is an interesting tie because I actually think that's going to be harder than people think. But again, I'm not excusing it. We've got to beat a championship side. Any team that you get in a league lower than you in the FA Cup is effectively a free ticket into the next round if you decide that you want to win the FA Cup. Chelsea should beat Wrexham. That sends us to the quarterfinals. Then it's anyone's game. Out in top. Hamit out in top. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That was it. Oh, finally someone said it. Finally. That is so funny. That is literally like I actually fully remember that game. That draw. So much fun, that stream. I remember going out afterwards. I went to Black Sand Brewery straight afterwards. Got very drunk because I was excited. So I knew we were going to win it. So they're currently going through the draw. Currently looking at the brackets. It's not been drawn yet, but they're looking at what it could be. If you're a Liverpool fan, which I know you probably aren't, would you rather face Atletico Madrid or Galatasaray? That's a really tough one for Tottenham or Liverpool. I think Spurs would lose to both. Maybe they beat... I think Spurs might beat Atletico. Maybe. We also will find out who to face in the quarterfinals and semi-finals, so we can plan out Chelsea's route to the final. So make sure you like the stream if you haven't already done so, and subscribe to GBFC so that you do not miss anything. This isn't the only content you guys are getting today. You've got a tactical video coming out later, previewing the Arsenal game, and then tomorrow there will also be a news/Arsenal preview as well. The draw hasn't come out yet. We are waiting and watching for it now. Let's see. 58% of you are saying Newcastle. It's very close. Very, very close in the poll. Real Madrid will play either Man City or Sporting Lisbon. Wait, is that true? Is that right? Yeah. No, hang on. Yeah, Real Madrid will play Sporting or Man City. So Man City could have Real Madrid. That could be huge. Arsenal or Bayern will play Atalanta or Leverkusen. And Bodo Glimt will play whoever Real Madrid don't play. So if Real Madrid play Man City, Bodo Glimt will face Sporting Lisbon. And Galatasaray will play Liverpool or Tottenham. Atletico will play Liverpool or Tottenham. It actually makes a lot of sense, this draw. At first, I was like, how are they going to do all of this? But it actually does really make sense. And I'll be real with you. I've quite enjoyed this new Champions League format. I very rarely like anything that changes, because I always just think, why change something that ain't broken? Champions League is the best club football competition in the world. There's no doubt about it. But I really like this new format. Imagine if Bodo beats City again. See, I've said this in a shootout video that's going out probably sometime now, actually. Eunice is posting that soon. I said for Bodo Glimt that I've got a funny feeling in the next round, whether it's Sporting Lisbon or Man City. I think if Bodo faced Man City, I think Man City will destroy them this time. I don't think in the knockout City would fall to them. And I also think you've got to take into consideration all of the games that Bodo have played in the last couple of months. The weather and everything where they are is crazy. It's super cold. It's a very hostile place to go for that reason. It's actually a lovely place to visit, apparently. But I don't know if it will be as cold in March. So maybe it's a bit different. So Galatasaray fans would rather play Tottenham. I mean, who wouldn't rather play Spurs, to be fair? But Tottenham, to be fair, to give them a little ounce of credit, they finished fourth in the Champions League, which was very, very good, to be fair. Oh, here we go. We're looking now. Let me. They're getting one of the. They're getting one of the balls open. So, Ivan Rakitic is struggling. Wow, okay. Man City are playing against Real Madrid. Wow. Chelsea. Oh. PSG. Chelsea have got PSG. This came out of nowhere. It was a little bit too soon, to be honest. Wow. So Chelsea have PSG in the Champions League, ladies and gentlemen. We have got Paris Saint-Germain. It is a repeat of the Club World Cup final. So we go to Paris in the first leg, and then we bring them back to Stamford Bridge. I say, why not? If you want to win the Champions League, you got to beat the best. So we've got PSG versus Chelsea. Real Madrid versus Man City, and Newcastle Barcelona. Wow, that is 3 incredible ties. But I back Chelsea. I think we can do it. I really do think we can do it. I would have rather faced Newcastle. If I'm being honest, I'm going to end the poll now. But why not? Bodo Glimt versus Sporting Lisbon as well is a brilliant opportunity for Bodo Glimt. Man City, Real Madrid. To be fair, Galatasaray, Liverpool. Liverpool, Galatasaray, which means Tottenham will play Atletico Madrid. This is actually mental. Obviously, we all knew what was going to happen. But let me get it up on the screen for you lot now. Let me see if that makes sure that's not showing the actual draw. No, that's in the wrong place. Okay, and then we drag that over. Right. So Atletico Madrid versus Tottenham. And then in a second, in fact, let me just do this. And go back to this screen for a sec. Bayern Munich. So this means now we're about to find out who Arsenal face. Atalanta versus Bayern Munich. So Arsenal will play Bayer Leverkusen. So now we can go over to the bracket and we can see how this impacts everything, because Chelsea's side of the draw, ladies and gentlemen, let me just, the draw is done, so we can remove this. Let's move over here, because what we can do now is we can look and see Chelsea's pathway to the final. This is where it gets exciting. So PSG, and then in the quarterfinals, it will be Galatasaray or Liverpool. So Real Madrid, Man City, the winners of that will play Atalanta or Bayern Munich. Wow. So if we avoid Arsenal until the final, if we are to get to the final, which I think is great for Chelsea. Newcastle, Barcelona. The winners of that will play Atletico Madrid or Tottenham. Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon. So Arsenal's route to the final couldn't be any easier, really. Because I think they'd smash Barcelona. I think Arsenal are now getting to the final of the Champions League. They've avoided... Yeah, I think they've avoided all the big teams, really. They would have been in our side. I actually don't think this could have gone any better for Chelsea, to be honest. Apart from it could have been Newcastle. But I think this side of the draw is better. So if you beat PSG, then I think we're doing all right. What do you guys have to say about that? How are we feeling? I don't think we're cooked. I don't think we're cooked. Arsenal are the lucky ones here, for sure. But Chelsea, PSG, I don't see that as that bad, to be honest. People say, you high, Benson? Nah. Yeah, you don't actually think we're cooked? We can beat them. We literally beat them in July. We beat them 7 months ago. Real Madrid have got Man City. It is bad. I mean, I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating. I am not that fearful of Paris Saint-Germain this season. Yes, they're a very good team, but they struggled to get past Monaco. They weren't amazing in the group stage. They've not been incredible in the league either. Yes, they're going to want revenge. Yes, Luis Enrique said he'd rather play Chelsea than Barcelona. I also think he's lying there as well. I think PSG would have absolutely destroyed Barcelona. Over 2 legs, Chelsea being at home in the second leg. Like, I think we're going to beat them. Watch me at half-time against Arsenal turn around and be like, the season's over. That would be the most GBFC thing that we'd see ever. But I think we're going to do it. I really do. Let me bring this back. So, yeah. Galatasaray or Liverpool in the quarterfinals. That would be winnable for sure. And then Real Madrid, Man City, Atalanta or Bayern Munich in the semis. That would be horrible. I mean, that's not easy at all, is it? I think Arsenal will be absolutely delighted with this, by the way. Seriously happy. Because, hang on, 1 sec. Let me just move you lot over there. Put that back there. Yeah, okay, we're good. JCM, Liam knows PSG in Ligue 1 days. Absolutely, you're right. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you also to Kevin. I wish Maresca is still with us. Mate, come on. Give Liam a shot, yeah? Let's give him a shot. Champions League football, why the bloody hell not, mate? So Arsenal play Leverkusen and then Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal are definitely getting to the semis. And then Newcastle. Do you know what? Let's predict it, shall we? Let's actually do a prediction now. Let's go through each one and see what's going to happen. So let's start from the top. PSG, Chelsea. I'm saying Chelsea are going to win. Galatasaray, Liverpool. Liverpool are going to win. Real Madrid, Man City. Man City are going to win. Atalanta, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are going to win. Newcastle, Barcelona. This is hard. This is a hard one. I'm going to come back to that. Atletico Madrid, Tottenham. Atletico are going to win. Bodo Glimt, Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon will win. Arsenal will win. Newcastle, Barcelona, I actually think is the trickiest tie to predict here. And you might say, what about Real Madrid? Man City. I think Man City are going to destroy them. Newcastle, Barcelona is flipping tough. What do you guys think is going to happen? I'm going to do a poll. I need you guys to help me with this. Who wins? Newcastle or Barcelona? I think this is a really tough one. Let's let it get to 600 votes. Wow. Okay, it's looking pretty clear that it's going to be Barcelona. Get voting. Newcastle, Barcelona. It's getting closer. Getting a little bit closer. They've already beaten Newcastle this season, but Newcastle were unlucky in that game. Newcastle were very good. Okay. So we're saying Barcelona. All right. Newcastle will feast on their high line. I agree with that. And the way that Newcastle have played in the Champions League this season, I think they're set up to beat Barcelona. I genuinely think they will. But I'm going to take you guys' word for it. 69% of you are saying Barcelona. Newcastle did not get dominated in the first game. That's not true. That is not true. Okay, so Barcelona we're going to say go through. So that means then, let's do quarterfinals. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Sporting Lisbon, Arsenal. Arsenal will beat Sporting Lisbon. Barcelona will beat Atletico Madrid. Bayern Munich will beat Man City. Chelsea versus Liverpool. Chelsea versus Liverpool. This is where it gets a little bit hard, doesn't it? Do you know, like, screw it. We beat Liverpool. We'll beat Liverpool. Chelsea will beat Liverpool. Like, why would we not beat Liverpool? Liverpool aren't very good. We'll beat Liverpool. So that means the semi-finals will be Chelsea versus Bayern Munich and Barcelona versus Arsenal. And then this is where I've got to be real with you. Bayern Munich will beat us. That's my opinion. I want to try and make this as fair as possible. I think Chelsea will beat PSG, and I think we can beat Liverpool. I genuinely believe that. But I don't think we can beat Bayern Munich. And Barcelona, Arsenal, I think Arsenal destroy Barcelona, if I'm being honest with you. So the final would be Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Right? I think Arsenal win the Champions League. But I would absolutely love Harry Kane to score the winning goal against Arsenal in a final. And I know you guys hate that. I know that you hate what I've just said. But in my opinion, they've been the best team in the competition. They've been the best team in the competition. They've already destroyed Bayern Munich. Barcelona aren't very good, in my opinion. I think the only way Arsenal don't win this is if Man City get to the final. And I'm calling it now. I think Chelsea will make it to the semi-finals. Thank you very much, Asiak, for the super chat. We are once again facing Paris Saint-Germain, which I believe presents the most favourable path to the quarterfinals. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I mean, if I was to be honest with you, I wouldn't back us to beat Arsenal. Actually, you know what? If we faced Arsenal in a Champions League final, we'd beat them. I'm convinced by that. If we played Arsenal in a final, we'd beat them. But I don't think we're going to get past Bayern Munich. I think if Bayern Munich were to get beaten by, and let's keep this up here, because if Bayern, I think Bayern will beat Atalanta, but if Real Madrid or Man City were to beat Bayern Munich, I think we could beat them in the semi-final. So in my opinion, the Chelsea's route to the semi-final would be best if Galatasaray beat Liverpool. Not to disrespect Galatasaray, they're a very good team, and they've got Victor Osimhen. But Chelsea's ideal route to the final would be beat PSG, play Galatasaray, beat them, and then if we somehow face Real Madrid or Man City, we could beat them. I don't think we can beat Bayern Munich over two legs. That's just my honest opinion. And for Arsenal, I know that you guys hate that I've said that they're going to win it, but I don't think any of these teams can beat them in their side of the draw. I really don't. Maybe Newcastle. Maybe. I think this is actually a really tough side of the draw. I think Spurs will lose to Atletico Madrid, so I'm not even going to bother talking about them because, like, as much as we might want a North London derby semi-final, Bodo Glimt are going to be difficult. Bodo will beat Arsenal, mate. Honestly, that would make my life. I just don't think we will. Chelsea-Arsenal final, mate. If we beat PSG, I'm going to be getting very excited. And I think we will beat PSG. So by default, I'm already very excited. Atletico Madrid will be in the semi-final. Arsenal would destroy them. They'd absolutely destroy them. I'm sorry, they just would. Game over for Chelsea. I mean, PSG is difficult. They are the holders. Alier, thank you for the super chat. Chelsea not beating PSG. It's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, love it. Love the optimism, mate. Personally, it's not cocky. If you think Chelsea are going to beat PSG, it's not being cocky. Like, we beat them 3-0. You got a 50-50 chance, technically. There's only two teams that we're talking about. I don't think it's as difficult as you think it is. And the fact we're at home in the second leg is massive. And I've watched a lot of PSG since we beat them in the final. I don't think they're anything special. I think it's better to play the second leg at home. And as much as Chelsea's home form's been poor, I think you always want to have the second leg at home. So yeah, the dates for the fixtures, it's not far away, boys and girls. The round of 16 games will be on the 10th to the 12th and the 17th to the 19th. So it will be within the space of a week. So we'll play PSG twice in 1 week with Newcastle in the league sandwiched between them. And then the quarterfinals will be the second week, the end of the first week, start the second week of April, and then a following week later. Semi-finals, a week between them again, end of April, beginning of May. And then the final is the 30th or the 31st. How does that work? I guess because it's different time zones and whatnot. But yeah. If we get to the final, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm at a stag do for my best mate. So I can't really not be there. But I'd have to watch it somehow. And I'd have to stream somehow. We'd make it work. We'd make it work. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on Chelsea's Champions League draw. It's Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16, Galatasaray or Liverpool in the quarterfinals, and then Real Madrid, Man City, Atalanta, or Bayern Munich in the semis. If we're going to play Arsenal in this season's Champions League, we will be playing Arsenal in the final. So make sure you're subscribed to GBFC. If you are watching the stream right now, please do hit the like button. It will stay up on the channel as like a standalone piece. And then in a couple of hours' time, there will be a video on GBFC. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss anything. And of course, this weekend, massive game. Chelsea go to the Emirates again in the Premier League, looking to finally end that streak against Arsenal. We'll be live here on GBFC. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.